Welcome everyone to our second class. We are discussing the concept of statistics, which we already studied in class 11 or in PU first. The concept statistics what we already studied. Few basic problems are given, which we are going to discuss right now. So we have done a couple of problem in the last class, and again just continuing our discussion in the similar manner. We'll do more problems in today class. So this question is about mean and standard deviation. I believe you all know already how to find the mean, how to find the standard deviation. Before I talk about mean and standard deviation calculation, you need to understand, guys, whatever we are studying, everything follow normal distribution curve. So whatever we are studying, everything what we are studying, everything follow normal distribution curve. This is a normal distribution curve. It's a bell-shaped curve. Okay, so under this normal distribution curve, when we study, we assume that the when the data are arranged, are allowed to arrange randomly in any manner, we believe that the maximum data will aggregate at the center, and that property of the data where the data aggregate at the center, that property is called as measure of central tendency. That property is called measure of central tendency. So this property of the data where your data aggregate at the center is called as measure of central tendency. And whenever we are trying to study the measure of central tendency, in measure of central tendency, we have studied mean, we have studied mean, we have studied median, and we have studied mode. Okay, so here remember the relationship that the mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. Remember the relation, mode is equal to 3 median minus 2 mean. So whenever I'm using the term mean here, by default, mean means arithmetic mean. Okay, so but if you go into detail to understand mean, your mean can be either, it can be arithmetic mean, your mean can be either arithmetic mean, your mean can be either geometric mean. If you go into detail to study the mean, it can be arithmetic mean, it can be geometric mean, it can be either harmonic mean. When we talk about mean, so it can be arithmetic mean, geometric mean, harmonic mean. Remember the relation that arithmetic mean is greater than or equal to geometric mean, that is greater than or equal to harmonic mean. Where remember the relation that the square of geometric mean is equal to arithmetic mean into harmonic mean. Remember this relationship. Okay. Now, guys, when we are studying the concept of mean here, mean can be arithmetic mean, it can be geometric mean, it can be harmonic mean, then we have a mode, we have a median. So all together we study them in measure of central tendency. So when we look into the data, we believe that the maximum data will lie at the center, and that we study under measure of central tendency. Then it is like that all the data will not be at center. So majority of the data can be dispersed from the center, and for to understand the dispersion or randomness, we need to study measure of dispersion. The next thing, once we studied the measure of central tendency, then the next thing what we need to study is the measure of dispersion. Okay, so the next thing we need to study is the measure of dispersion. So when we study the measure of dispersion, like this is central tendency, we represent by mu, and then dispersion I can represent in the term of sigma. So there are different terms of dispersion are there. So when we talk about measure of dispersion, when we talk about measure of dispersion, when we're talking about measure of dispersion, it can be range, it can be range, it can be quartile deviation. When we talk, when we talk about measure of dispersion, it can be range, it can be quartile deviation. Okay, it can be quartile deviation. Okay, it can be mean deviation. It can be mean deviation. Okay, it can be standard deviation. It can be standard deviation in measure dispersion when we're studying. it can be standard deviation, and it can be variance. It can be variance, where the variance is the square of standard deviation. I believe you remember, no? All this you studied, variance is the square of standard deviation. This is a symbol of standard deviation. We call it sigma. Sigma is the symbol of standard deviation. Variance is the square of standard deviation. Quartile deviation, the formula of quartile deviation, formula is Q3 minus Q1 by 2. This is the formula of quartile deviation, Q3 minus Q1 by 2. I hope you remember quartiles. Q1 is called lower quartile, Q3 is called upper quartile. Q1 talks about the first 25% of data, while Q3 talks about the plus 75% of the data. The deviation between them is called as quartile deviation. Okay, range, what is range? Highest value minus lowest value. Okay, what is mean deviation? It is nothing but its absolute value of the change between x minus x bar. We'll talk about that later on. So these basic things, I believe you still remember. Yes or no, guys? Do you remember or not? Measure dispersion, measure central tendency. Tell me whatever I told you just now. You know all this thing, right? You studied about them in your first video. Yes or no? Please reply, guys. You studied about them, right? You remember, correct? Kindly respond. Yes, okay. So just like revision for you. So when we talk about normal distribution curve, guys, if possible, remember that in under normal distribution curve, around 68.28% of the data lies in the plus minus of one standard deviation. When we see the normal distribution curve, around 68.28% of data will lies in the plus minus of one standard deviation, while when we talk about two standard deviation, we say that in two standard deviation, we say around 95.45% of the data will lie in the plus minus of two standard deviation. Okay, so this is the way how the data is aggregated. Guys. Majority of the data will be plus minus of one standard deviation only under the normal distribution curve. Okay, then we have around 95.45% of data in plus minus of two standard deviation, and then the normal distribution curve. When you see normal distribution curve, then around 99.73% of the data will lies in the plus minus of three standard deviation. So this is the way how normal distribution is basically plotted. When we talk about normal distribution curve, for the under normal distribution curve, this is the way, this is the formula to calculate the probability under the normal distribution curve. So whenever we are trying to calculate the probability under the normal distribution curve, we use this formula. We use this formula to measure the probability where your x or your mu, it lies between minus infinity to plus infinity, and your sigma is greater than 0. So this is the probability calculation. This is the formula which was proposed by T. Moore to study the normal distribution curve. So just like that, you remember this formula. So this is the formula of normal distribution curve. Everything what we are studying, statistics, everything we study under normal distribution curve. It is a continuous distribution curve. Okay, sometime when we study the statistics in the term of probability, then we study them in the form of binomial distribution. I hope you remember binomial distribution, Poisson distribution. Then that time when we study them under Poisson or binomial distribution. Right now we're studying everything under normal distribution curve. So if you have a class interval with frequency given, guys, if you have class interval with frequency given like this, so guys, how will you calculate the mean? So direct method to calculate the mean, direct method to calculate the mean. If you want to calculate the mean directly, then the direct formula to calculate the mean is sum of fx by sum of f. This is the direct formula to calculate the mean, sum of fx by sum of f. What is x here, guys? F means frequency. You know what is x? X is called as class mark. What is x here, guys? X is called as class mark. X is called as class mark. It is basically the average between the upper limit plus lower limit. The average between upper limit plus lower limit is called as class mark. Yes or no? Anyone, any doubt? So you studied about them in the first chapter, in PU first. In the first chapter, you studied about the frequency distribution, cumulative distribution, all that inclusive, exclusive, continuous, discrete data. Data can be either, it can be discrete in nature, it can be continuous in nature. Your data, when you study it, can be exclusive in nature, it can be inclusive in nature. Yes or no? You know this, right? Anyone, any doubt? Anyone, any doubt? Anyone, any doubt? So this is, so the direct formula, guys, to calculate the mean is sum of fx by sum of f. Or if you follow step deviation to calculate the arithmetic mean, so you can also find the arithmetic mean by step deviation method. So calculation of arithmetic mean, if I'm trying to calculate the arithmetic mean by step deviation method, if I'm trying to calculate the arithmetic mean by step deviation method, by step deviation method, if I'm trying to calculate arithmetic mean by step deviation method, if I'm trying to calculate the arithmetic mean by step deviation, formula is as you mean. If you want to calculate the arithmetic mean by step deviation method, then your formula is as you mean plus h sum of fd by sum of f. This is the formula. I'll explain you. I hope you know this. You have done in PU first. In case if you forgotten this, I'll explain you. Don't worry on that part. Clear, everyone? Clear, everyone? Anyone, any doubt? So let me make sure that you people understand that the formula to calculate the arithmetic mean. So you can calculate arithmetic mean either by direct formula, which is sum of fx by sum of f. This is the direct formula. From this you will find the arithmetic mean, or you can follow step deviation method. If you follow step deviation method, then this is your formula. If you follow step deviation method, then this is your formula to calculate the arithmetic mean. Clear, everyone? Now talking about standard deviation, how we can calculate the standard deviation. Talking about standard deviation, how we can calculate the standard deviation. So the standard deviation you can calculate by the formula. Standard deviation you can calculate by the formula called under root of f x minus x bar whole square by summation of f. You can use this formula to calculate the standard deviation, or you can use the formula called summation of fx square by summation of f minus summation of fx by summation of f whole square. You can use any of this formula and you can find the standard deviation. Anyone, any doubt? Anyone, any doubt, any question? I hope you people are understanding this is the formula to calculate the standard deviation. Okay, so once you understood this formula, now if I use a step deviation method, and that way if I'm calculating the standard deviation, your formula would be h under root of summation of fd square by summation of f minus summation of fd by summation of f whole square. Okay, where what is d? D is the step deviation, you know. What is d? D is basically your x value minus your assumed mean. D is basically your x value, whatever the x is given, class mark minus assumed mean by h. That will give you the d. D means step deviation. Done, everyone? So let's solve the problem. Till now, I have only mentioned the formulas. Till now, I have only mentioned the formulas. The formula to calculate the mean, the formula to calculate the standard deviation. So I believe now you are well versed with the formulas. Once you are well versed with the formulas, then we'll try to solve the problem. Clear, everyone? So once you are well versed with the formula, now it's time to solve the question. Can we start then, guys? So we'll solve this question. Here, guys, if you notice the class intervals, if you notice, guys, this class interval is a continuous class interval. Okay, so while solving the problem on normal distribution curve, either it either it's about mean, median, mode, arithmetic mean, geometric mean, or standard deviation, quartile deviation, mean deviation, whatever we do. So whatever forms of calculation we do, guys. So if you see the class interval, if the class interval is not continuous in nature, we need to make it continuous. If you see in this problem, this class interval is continuous in nature, so we don't have to change anything. We don't have to change anything. Otherwise, we need to make sure that the class interval is continuous in nature. Here you can see this is the class interval. And here you can see the class intervals are 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40. So all are continuous in nature. So the other name of continuous class interval is exclusive class interval. Here you can see your class intervals are exclusive. So you don't have to do any adjustments on the class interval. In case if your class intervals are not exclusive or continuous, then you have to convert the discrete class interval into the continuous class interval first, and then you can process your calculation. Okay, guys, I hope you people are understanding. So you need to make sure that your class interval should be continuous in nature. Once you know that your class interval is continuous in nature, and then you can start solving the problem. So when you see this question, so the class interval is 10 to 20, then 20 to 30, then 30 to 40, then 40 to 50, then 50 to 60. You see your class interval 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60. You can see your class interval. If I see my frequency is given to you 5, 9, frequency is given to 5, 9, 15, okay, then 13, and then 8. If you do the total sum of frequency, guys, the total sum of frequency, so total sum of frequency will be 15 plus 5, 20, 20 plus 20 plus 13, 20 plus 13, 33, 33 plus 8, 33 plus 8 is 41, 41 plus 9, 50. So the total sum of frequency will be 50. Okay, everyone, you can do 9 plus 5, 14, 19, 22, 30, 3 carry, 3, 4, 5 carry. So the total sum of frequency is 50. Once you get the total sum of frequency is 50, okay, then what you can do once you get the total sum of frequency as 50, so what you need to do, you can find the class mark. Class mark will be 15, 25, 35, 45, 55. This is the class mark. Then you can multiply f into x to find the mean. 15 5s are 75. Okay, then 25 9s are 225. Then 15 35 45 15 15 35 75 45. This is 525. This is 525. 15 into 45 65 and 52 585. 585, and then 55 eights are that will be 440. Guys, see the calculation. Let me know if I do any calculation mistake. So the sum of fx, that would be 5, 10, 15, 20. You carry 7, 9, 11, 11 plus 2, 13, 13 plus 8, 13 plus 8, 21, 25. You carry then 10, 16, 18. To carry, that is 2050. 7, 9, 11, 13, 13, 21, 25. To carry 9, to carry 5, 10, 14, 18, 20. The sum of fx is 2050. So let me know if I do any calculation mistake. So the sum of fx is 2050. Sum of fx is 2050, and then the sum of f is 50. This is 75, then 225, then 525, then 585, then 440, 510, 510, 15, 22, carry 7, 9, 11, 11, 13, 13, 21, 25 to carry 9, 11, 13 plus 5, 1850. This is 1850. Okay, so you understood. So you get this 1850. Once you get the sum of fx as 1850 and sum of f is 50, so what you can do, guys, once you get this value, then what you can do, guys, you can find the mean. Mean formula is sum of fx by sum of formula sum of fx. So the mean is 37. So once you get the mean, once you get the mean, once you get your mean, what you can do, guys, you can find the standard deviation. To find the standard deviation, what you can do, you can take the square of this value. This is 225, then 625, then 1322, 1225, then 2025, then 3025. I hope you know how to find the square of a number ending with 5. I hope you know the square of the number ending with 5. Any number which end with 5, you want to find the square of the number. You want to find the square of the number if you want. So see, any number which end with 5, the last two digit is always 25. Any number which end with 5, the last two digit is always 25. Okay, how to find the remaining digit? See the 10th place digit here. See the 10th place digit here. The 10th place digit is 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 6. What is next digit to 1? 2. What is 2 ones are 225. 2 ones are 2. Next digit to 2 is 3. What is 3 twos are 6. The answer is 625. What is next digit to 3? 4. What is 4 threes are 12. 1225. What is next digit to 4? 5. What is 5 fours are 20. 2025. Next digit to 6, 7. 7 6 are 42. Are you getting this? Any number square, any number 125 square, you'll get 15625. Any number 185 square, 185 square. So 185 square, what I need to do? I need to multiply 18 into 19. This Vedic math I'll teach you someday. Vedic maths. Anyway, I'll not do that. So I hope you understand. Any number, you tell me any number, I'll tell you the square of the number. You tell me any number, I'll tell you the square of that number by using Vedic maths. Once you get the x square value, guys, once you get the x square value, guys, you can multiply f into x square. Multiply f into x square. So 225 fives are 5 fives are 25 2 carry 10 12 1 carry 10 11 1125. Then 9 into 625 9 fives are 45 4 carry 9 twos are 18 plus 4 22. Then 2 carry 54 plus 2 56. Then 1225 fives are, so that is 600, that is 6 1 that is 6125. Okay, then ones which is 1225, 1225. So this would be 753 18375. That would be 18375 or 2575. 1225 into 15, then 2025 into 13. 2025, 5 threes are 15, 1 carry. 3 2s are 6, 7. Then 3 zeros are 0. And then 3 2s are 6. Then 2025. So this is 5, 12, 3, 6, 2. 2, 6, 3, 2, 5. 2, 6, 3, 2, 5. Then 55 into 3025, that would be 15125. Then it would be 5736. Then 61 166375. 166375. So you get this, multiply f into x square, then add them, you'll get the answer. So f into x, that will give us the sum of the fx square. Sum of the fx square. Do that. Do the sum by yourself. 166375. Then 26325. Then 18375. This is 15, 1 carry. 14, 16, 17, 1 carry. 3, 6, 9, 10, 1 carry. Then 12, 20, 21, 2 carry. 6, 8, 10, 11, 1 carry. 211075, 211075. Okay, then 5625, 5625. Then 5625. 10, 10, 7, 6, 1, 2. Then 1125. And this is 2587, 21. This is 217825. Guys, just do this and check. Let me know if there's any mistake I did. Okay, guys. I did a mistake, guys, here. This should be this. I should multiply with 83025 into 8, not with. I multiplied by mistake by 55. 3025 into 8. This is 40, 16, 20, 24200. 24200. So 24200, 24200. So again, let me calculate, guys. Use calculator. You can use calculator. 24200, then 26325, then 18375. This is 10, 10, then 6, 9, then 10, 3, 6, 9, then 10, 18, 1 carry. 2, 4, 5, 6, 6, 8, 9, 0, 0. 68900. So 24200, then 26300, then 18375, then 68900, and then on this 68900 add 1125 and 5625. If you add, you will get uh, 5. Then this is 10, 16, 1 carry, 9, 10, 15. Get 75650. 75650. So that will be the sum of fx square. So you'll get 75650. That is sum of fx square. So you get the sum of fx square. This is the sum of fx square. This is the sum of fx. Okay, so once you get these values, guys, once you get this value, then what you need to do, you can calculate standard deviation. Standard deviation by the formula called under root of fx square by sum of f minus sum of fx by sum of f whole square. So you can calculate the sum of fx square, that is 75650, divided by sum of f. Sum of f is 50 minus sum of fx 1850 by 50 whole square. You can find the standard deviation. That would be 125 means 5 1 115 130 15130. Not 0, 0 will not come. So 1 5, then 1 3 minus this was what, 30 37, right? 37 square is what, 1369, right? 37 square is what, 1369, right? 69, 1 carry, then 37 minus 13 is 24, 12, 1369, correct. So if you do this, so 1513 minus 1369, if you do 94, 94, then 10 minus 6 4, then 4 minus 3 1. So you'll get sigma is equal to 12. Anyone, any doubt? Check the calculation, guys. Ask me if you have a doubt, any doubt you have. Yes, yes, Hajira, you can write in the classwork. Make a separate notebook and mention all these problems in that notebook. So, so once in a while, if we call you for the college. So I'll check in your notebook. Also, guys, start preparing for CA foundation exam, CA, CS, or CMA exam. If you have any plan of becoming chartered accountant or company secretary or chartered market analyst in the future. My channel name, 1 minute, 1 minute. Statistics for second PU. So guys, this is second PU. I took one class. I made the playlist on that. So if you want to prepare for CA foundation exam or CS exam, I have made videos on that. You just need to go through them. Whenever you get time, you go through them. For the CA foundation, I have developed a lot of videos. Also, I'm in touch with one online companies there. So they're developing my videos for CA foundation, and the same thing they will sell to the students. You know, you can see for CA foundation, I made around 48 videos related to math, statistics. Whenever you get time, you can go through them. Okay, the only thing, use less calculator. No matter uh, if you do not use calculator, there is a chance that you may make a mistake, but that's okay. Try to avoid calculator till the time ultimate urgency. If you can manage without calculator till certain extent, try to do that. Whenever it's really important, then you can use calculator. So now coming back to this problem, guys. So this problem, we calculated the standard deviation. We learned to calculate the standard deviation by this formula. We learned that standard deviation. We learned to calculate the standard deviation by this formula. Okay, you can also calculate the standard deviation by this formula also. You can also calculate your standard deviation by this formula. So if you want to use this formula, if you want to use this formula, then you need x bar. X bar already you know, na? X bar is already 37. You know already. So what you need to do, you need to find x minus x bar. Do the square of that, multiply with frequency. Your work will be done. Okay, so and then you can calculate the standard deviation. So I'll do that calculation now. Do that calculation now. This is 3025. This, although x square not required, so I'll find x minus x bar. X minus x bar. X bar is 37. So 15 minus 37. So what is 15 minus 37? I think that will get minus 22. So you will get minus 22. Then 25 minus 37, you will get minus 12. 35 minus 37, you will get minus 2. And then 45 minus 37, what you will get? 45 minus 37, you will get 8. And then 55 minus 37, you will get 18. Find x minus x bar. Then do x minus x bar square. Then do square of that, you will get 484. Then 144. Then 4. Then 64. And then 324. Find x minus x bar. And then do the square of that. So find x minus x bar. Do the square of x minus x bar. Okay, do the square of x minus x bar. So you know x, right? What is x bar? X bar means mean. X bar you got is 37. I hope you remember. For the same question, you got the x bar as 37. So find x minus x bar. Find x minus x bar. Once you find the x minus x bar, do the square of that. So you get x minus x bar square. Clear everyone? Anyone any doubt? So then if you have this value, then multiply this value with f. Multiply this value with f. So multiply with what? Multiply this value x minus x bar square value, multiply with f. Okay, so 484 into 5. 484 into 5 is 2420. Then 144 into 9. 9 fours are 36. Then 3 carry 36, 39, 39, 36, 39, 3 carry 12, 1296. 15 into 4, 16. 15 into 4, 16. 13 into 64. 13 into 64, 13 fours are 52, right? 13 fours are 52. 13 six are 78. So this is 832. Then 13 into 64. Then 8 into 324. 8 into 324. 8 into 324. 8 fours are 32. 8 fours are 32. 3 carry. 8 twos are 16. 16 plus 3. 19. 1 carry. 24 plus 1. 25. Guys, please check this. Let me know if there is any calculation mistake. Then do the sum of this. Sum of f x minus x bar whole square. So 6, 8, 10. 6, 8, 10. Write 0, 1 carry. 1 carry. If I put 6, 8, 10, this is 10, 12, 12, 18, 18, 18 plus 3, 21, 21 plus 9, 30. Write 0, 3 carry. 4 plus 3, 7, 7 plus 2, 9, 9, 9 plus 9 plus 8, 17, 17 plus 5, 22. Write 2, 2 carry. 2, 4, 5, 5, 7, 7, 2, 0, 0. Clear everyone? Let me know if there's any calculation mistake, anything. So once you get this, sum of f into x minus x bar whole square is 7200 and sum of f is 50. I can find the standard deviation. I can find the standard deviation. So if I find the standard deviation, this is the formula sum of f x minus x bar whole square by sum of f. So this is under root of 7200 by 50. So 50 I can write 100 by 2. I'll get 144. So your standard deviation is equal to 12. Same value. Clear everyone? So step deviation method I could not able to do today. Next class, I'll do the same problem by using step deviation method. So in next class, we'll do the same problem by using step deviation method. Today, we learned how to calculate mean and standard deviation by direct formula. So next class means tomorrow only, no? My class is there. Tomorrow we'll do the same thing by step deviation. Clear everyone? Anyone, any doubt? Okay, so I hope guys you understood. So this much from the today class. We'll continue our discussion tomorrow. Recording of this class in 5-10 minutes. You'll get in my YouTube channel link. You can go through them if you want to refer it for the future reference. So today we did this mean and standard deviation calculation by direct method. Tomorrow we'll discuss the same kind of question by using step deviation method. Any doubt, anyone, anything before I wind up the class, you want to ask any question? Okay, everyone. So I hope you don't have any doubt. So I like to wind up the class. Thank you, everyone. See you all tomorrow. Bye, everyone.